I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
of the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
I'm afraid I must bring my honorable lord some, shall we say, less than ideal news. Indeed, it is to your most eminent negation that you proceed thusly in such a stressful situation. Perchance 'tis so, should you react rather than respond. Pourquoi? How darest thou describe my actions as though they were in the manner of angry people? 'Tis better to describe thee thusly than to be thee in such a tousled state. But I must do better. How shall it be so?
This is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
All right, enough of that. We're taking this bull by the horns now. We are? Well, I am. You'll probably want to do that too. It's nearly an automatic reaction.
This is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
Right. So the first step, there are steps, is to pause before responding.
That's good.
There is a lot I can do before responding, like thinking. Pause and consider the situation before. Find a sense of safety in your thoughts. Next thing I know, you'll say, we must take a moment to think about our words and actions. No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, why have it so we can respond in a thoughtful manner and avoid such extreme stress? Maybe so we can actually get somewhere?
Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
As you like it, King Lear. Indeed, it is important to remember that our reactions are often impulsive, angry feelings, which may not be beneficial in the long run. Right you are. Instead of reacting, we should strive to respond in a way that is mindful and respectful. Aye, 'tis true. We must be aware of our emotional health and how it can influence our reactions. Next you'll say we should take the time to respond thoughtfully, or some such thing. Or maybe just take the time to play the right note, which, as you know, is something Ray Charles has advised. And why would we do that? We do that so that we can ensure that our words and actions are beneficial to all involved in any task in life. Oh, that's good. It is important to acknowledge our emotions, but we must strive to respond. Respond and not react? Correct. Not react, but respond in a way that is constructive and productive.
Voulez-vous manger quelque chose?
Thanks. I know that's part of being productive, but I'll eat something later. In fact, we'll all do that. And doing that can prevent uncontrolled anger. What was that saying? Oh, you mean, I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry? Yeah, that. What doth happen, my lord, when we are given news and a chance to reply? Well, very often, we seize on the first thing that reinforces, or at least seems to reinforce. Seems to reinforce whatever is the thing we already believe. Or, like you say, as a man thinketh. Yeah, well, as you know, I didn't say that originally, but I sure wish I had a dime for what? You know for what? For thinking. Responding is different from reacting. Yeah, reacting is usually an emotional response, like this, while responding is more open and considered. It's better for your physical health, too. Yes, I agree, but sometimes it's hard to know when to respond and when to react. That's because it can be difficult to stay calm in the face of a challenge, even with the normal reactions of daily life. But it's worth it. Responding is always the better option. Yes, it is. And at minimum, you won't need to try to walk anything back.
Why is this so important now?
It's important now because we're soldiers in the war against the fear of poverty. 'Tis true, my friends, and such fears shall no longer be such fears. Aye, we must be mindful of our reactions, lest they lead us astray. Indeed. Let us take a moment to pause and reflect, that we may respond with clarity and thoughtfulness. My services on this to your honorable lordship. Thank you, DT. I believe I'll make use of those services right now. How so? With a dialogue bit about poverty. I'm so scared of being poor, I just don't know what to do. Yeah, good line, that's it. Okay, more. I take a step back and respond thoughtfully. Even when you're so scared of not having enough money? Yes, even then. The feeling we radiate dictates the way we attract, the way people respond to us. Long in our court hath made this idea twist. Huh? Oh, yeah, a break would help with that. It would? Oh, yeah, it would. Which break?
Break number 1.
Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us, please subscribe to us in your favorite podcast player. You can find us on both the App Store and the Play Store because our message is for everyone. Leave a rating for us, or even better, tell a friend. Whichever you choose, thank you so much for helping us do this for you. To leave us a written message, which just might lead to more in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes to find our subreddits. There is also our Facebook group page, Twitter, and other ways which we'll tell you about from time to time. You can also find an Easter egg every so often, so listen closely. Thank you again, and keep those constructive ideas coming. Know what I say to myself during breaks? What's that, DT? I say, and I quote myself, "You are dearer than eyesight, space, or liberty." That's bold. Are you referring to the breaks themselves, or dare I say it, to thyself? That, mi amigo, is for me to know and you to find out. Thanks, DT. Just so you know, last time I heard that, I nearly fell off my dinosaur. Okay, we're even. So do we have a guest this week? We do, DT, and I am going to officially welcome him by mixing some metaphors. That's weird, but okay. How exactly are you going to do that? Though I probably shouldn't ask. That's true, you probably shouldn't. But since you did, yes, Marco Torres, our guest, is going to tell us, among other things, about how to avoid a race to the bottom of a red ocean. Oh, really, John? Well, let's let him tell it, because you're just making his message more difficult to understand. Ooh, that hits home. I'll work on that. But for now, here's the simple version.
That's good. Say bon. Eso es bueno.
Yes, where he'll be telling us that we can use incentives even better by using micro incentives. Like baby steps? A bit like that, yes, but let's let him tell us. I'm sure he can do his own message a lot more justice.
Hello, Marco. Glad to have you here with us today.
Hello, my name is Marco Torres, and thrilled to be here.
We're glad to have you here, too. And what are you here to tell us about?
I'm going to be here to sharing with you ideas on how to use incentive-based marketing versus discounting, for example. Show you ideas on how to grow your business and scale with the use of incentives.
How would somebody who's on the cusp of feeling like they're successful in this area apply that based on the experiences that you've had?
Well, that's a good question, and a lot of people don't quite get what I mean by incentives to grow a business or to scale or to get leads or what have you. But what I'll be talking about is, how to do like Amazon with adding the free shipping with Amazon Prime, or how to stand out from the crowd with what is your adult Happy Meal, like McDonald's for decades now, using a Happy Meal to take your eye off of the price and focus on the prize with the packaging that generates for them about $3 billion additional revenue a year just with that Happy Meal. So we'll be talking about how to come up with what is your Happy Meal for your business, your adult Happy Meal to be your lead magnet, bringing in clients nonstop.
And that talks a lot about many psychological approaches that we use. I mean, you're referring to a whole bunch of different things that everybody uses, not just companies.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And so what we've done is we've really analyzed and figured out that people respond better to adding value versus just discounting. But it's tempting to be a discounter. You find yourself competing in a ocean of red shark blood water, and we're all competing with who knows who, right? And so to stand out from that crowd, we find ourselves offering discounts, running promo cycles with another discount, and before you know it, you find yourself racing to the bottom and giving away all your profits. And we've been able to help thousands of business owners actually avoid that by adding value, be it their own additional units, bonuses, additional whatever it might be, creating your own value incentives.
One of the things that I've found is it's important to be able to control what's going on around you, to feel like you're in charge of this. But it's also important to stack them in order of how things will affect you, because if you have time to do 3 things and your to-do list is 12 things long, you've got to figure out which 3 to do now.
Right.
So
the 80-20 rule. What do you do next?
Yeah, it is like the 80-20 rule.
So I guess one of the challenges that many a business owner have, obviously, is how do you move your prospects or what have you to move you up on the list as far as their 80-20 rule, right? We all have what do we do next? What are we going to find time? We're going to carve time out to participate in whatever your offering is, and whatever it is, people their biggest value is their own time. And so what I recently, one of the things I've been following for a while. Dan Kennedy is one of my favorite of all time marketers, and recently Russell Brunson bought his entire company out from ClickFunnels to promote to his audience. And Dan Kennedy talks about a MIFGI, which he coined this phrase MIFGI, which is his version of saying the most incredible free gift ever, which is what we want to help you create. What is your most incredible free gift ever? Your MIFGI that's going to help people decide that they need to take your offer and move that to the top of the list, move that to the front burner. That's what I'm going to focus my time or my team's time on next. That because of the value of your offer and the incentive you're throwing in might be one more reason to take action with you and move you up on the list or put you up on the importance of my time, my value ladder of my own. Your value ladder is going to decide whether or not I'm going to give you my time, which is obviously the most important asset.
Okay, cool. Now, Marco, how would people follow up with you if they wanted to explore more on a one-on-one basis?
Yeah, I would go to marketingboost.com, where we've got some incredible sign up. It's free to give it a try, 7-day free trial, and get a little bit of an experience of what Marketing Boost can do for your company.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I like that information. He certainly gave it to you, me, and all our other listeners when he asked about our adult Happy Meal, don't you think? I sure do, Dee. And I liked how he expanded on the idea of micro incentives, like the baby steps we talked about. Right, he even pre-answered the what's in it for me or with him question, which brings to mind the idea of what can I respond to next? Yeah, responding instead of reacting. Confirmed, like I imagined would happen with the final break of the day. You mean I'd react to it? Maybe you would, but hopefully not. That's something we should explore in a lot more detail as we go on and on and on.
But first, break number 2.
We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es bueno, Sybil. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too. Hey, did you hear about that simple solution for investing? Yeah, I did. My simple expression of surprise. Apparently, it's supposed to make investing a lot easier and not such a traumatic event. Well, I'm not sure if I believe it or not. It sounds like a scam. Well, since it was your idea, a scam it most likely is not. Be not thou so unremovable and fixed in such a course for your daily activities. Por supuesto, I shall so endeavor, while you all get comfortable with control. Ah, you mean us having more control over investments? I do. The simple solution. And this is what Marco was talking about, isn't it? It is, exactly. And I know how it works. Well, it should work. By having more control, you can make smarter decisions and hopefully increase your returns. Yes, just no guarantees on that last part. No, por supuesto, of course not. So how exactly does this simple solution work? Well, it's based on a few principles.
We're listening.
Okay. After you grok the basics of investing, which we're not detailing right here, right now, because this isn't the time or place for that, then you might just start to feel overwhelmed. Like it's not what you know as much as how many times you've done it. And can you do it with ease? Which can make people want to give up or even avoid it in the first place. But if you believe you're always in control and you act like it,
That's good.
by responding instead of reacting, then you maintain your balance. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's really about taking control.
And doing your research.
Right, thanks. In order to make the best investments you know how to do, or to correct them later if you've learned more. And with the simple solution, you can use masterminds. Masterminds? Oh yeah, we've talked about those, haven't we? A bit, although it's not always easy to get all the Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie goodness out of them, but you can, assuming it's done right. Yes, and then you can access people who have more experience in investing, and they're happy to see you win too. You don't have to reinvent the wheel when you could control things by learning the successful way. Yes, and I think that's why this solution has been so successful for people. Well, yeah, it gives them the control they need. The control they need to make informed decisions and maximize their returns. Interesting. So how does our ever-present PPR idea work its way into this? Oh, you mean how does more patience, persistence, and repetition become more control? Yeah, I do mean that. I confess that I am old. Age is an unnecessary discussion here. On my knees, I beg that you will vouchsafe me raiment and bed and food.
Wow. Shakespeare.
Good sir. Worry about that no more. Those are unsightly tricks. But with more patience and persistence, we can research and practice investing until we feel confident that our decisions are the best ones for us. And with repetition, we can master the process and become more adept at responding instead of reacting. And this allows us to make better choices and gain more control over our investments. And with more control, we increase, what? We increase our ability to have those all-important MSIs we all need. And we can experiment. Yes, and learn even. Wait, MSIs? You're connecting those to control? I am, DT. The whole idea relates to control.
That's good.
It's all a matter of belief.
Because we're getting to decide. Yes, but even better, keep going with that. Because we're executing what we've already decided. Yes, and we're escorting our monkey minds back to a zone, hopefully a comfort zone, but at the very least a growth zone.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes
Techno King, John C. Brandy, Alter Ego, Doubting Thomas, Fact Checker, A Small Brown Beef Animal, Seriously, Tiny. Facts are important but are also easy. Social Manager, Abraham Lincoln, Media Expert, Augustus Caesar. Psychologist, William James. Sound Designer, Adobe's Creative Suite. Spanish Consultant, Cameron J.K. Brandy. French Consultant, Leah, the Do-Your-Own Research Lady. Videographer, Ato Monkoshki. Audio Props, Les Paul. Inspiration, many podcasts and other sources, and of course Napoleon Hill.
We also have websites, and you can subscribe to both podcasts. You can even send us a video, audio, or text message, but of course you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to get the links and stuff. And all those clickable links are in the show notes.
And before we forget, the artificial intelligence or AI voices that you hear in our work are offered up by Google, Amazon Polly, and OpenAI, like we say in the show notes. They don't sponsor us yet, but we love what they do, and we just love what AI can do when lovingly crafted.
Finally, you can find us on Podmatch.com, Matchmaker.fm, Podbooker and Podcast Guests, where we consider guests and consider guesting on other people's shows.
And really finally, the music for our pods comes from Cute by Ben Sound and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams, as well as from AI MuseNet. The sound effect credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canusi G, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything Sounds, MK Play More Stories, ERH, Sand Emotions, Big Pickle 51, and Just Kidding. Yes, that's his or her name. All on freesound.org. Also, languages are the bomb.
Paul.